What's going on, guys? 600 sub hype. Decided to make this video today for you guys. I appreciate you. So let's talk about backstabs first. So the Parry backstab, or Parry buffered backstab for those that don't know, allows you to basically have your backstab attempt extended over the parry window. So you can buffer the backstab that you want to land at a more generous time. So you don't have to be so tight on it. So as we can see right here, I'm not doing the parry buffered backstab, but I'm still chaining. You don't need to use the parry buffer backstab to chain. You just have to predict what your opponent is going to do. If they decide to stand up because they know that's the defense against the parry buffer backstab, then you can just wait for their invulnerability to time out. So the key here is predicting your opponent. If you can guess what they're going to do, then you can punish it with a BS, extending your combo. So right here, going into this one, I'm going to do what's called a barrel roll BS. So I roll before him sideways. He also decides to roll sideways in the same direction. I landed on the ground first so I could backstab him. Then I hit him with an R1, forced a panic roll, backstabbed his roll. Then I just stood still, and he panic rolled again, and I just turned around and backstabbed him out of his roll. Something important to consider is how predictable you're playing the game. If you're always doing the same thing, no matter if it's on the offensive or the defensive, then you're going to get fucked up. Alright, that's just the way that it is. So you have to mix things up. You have to predict your opponent's mix-ups, and that inherently is fun. You see, I got him with 2 ravioli catches, and then he did a forward roll instead, so I didn't get the backstab. You saw that? He did something different, and I didn't expect him to, so I didn't get it. Let's take a little break from backstabs and talk about parrying briefly. So as we can see right there, parrying starts up incredibly fast, like almost instant starting frames. And so the active frames are also smaller, as are the recovery frames, making it an overall faster parry that's easier to spam. But the problem with parry spamming in all the games, other than it's really annoying and lame, is that it's very easy to just run behind somebody and backstab them when they're not preventing you from doing that. Okay, they're standing in an idle position. They're not providing an active hitbox to defend against themselves, and since they're not moving, it's like shooting shitfish in a shit barrel. So essentially, parry spam is terrible. It's a very bad idea. The thing that's good but bad is what I would call the 50-50 players. The players that will R1 50% of the time, and the players that will parry 50% of the time, resulting in a somewhat unsafe backstab zone, where unless you're almost sure they're going to parry, you can't safely run BS them, right? So in this game, there's something called Poise. Maybe you've heard of it. And what this allows us to do is something like this. Let's watch. I trade the first hit, don't get staggered, parry the second hit, because he didn't get staggered either, because we both have Poise. Right? And that's an extremely important thing to note in this game, because not only does Poise allow you to Poise parry, it allows you to Poise backstab. It allows you to escape infinite stun lock on certain weapons. In this video, I got myself up to, I think, 37 Poise at one point. Yeah, it was 37 and I was fast rolling. And with 37 Poise, you're tanking one-handed greatsword swing, which results in a lot of shit you're now able to do because you're not getting staggered. Walked right through the straight sword for the BS to knock him down so I could come over here and backstab the host for healing. Alright, so Poise allows you to do what I would call a Poise setup parry. You take the first hit and then parry the second hit. And this works much better on opponents that are less lenient to swing 2 times into a shield because they know what's going on. Poise parry. Got him. So that is another thing you can take advantage of when it comes to parrying and Poise. You also want to realize that Poise will allow you to get backstabs. Poise will allow you to escape infinite stun lock, or just stun lock in general, and that's good. That can allow you to get a counter hit, a guaranteed counter hit with the Leo ring in this game. It does massive damage. Okay, use the halberd fully upgraded with the Leo ring, and you're hitting like 950 damage on a counter hit. That's fucking impressive. But mainly what I'm getting at is you want to combine all of these elements together. Rustic play, parrying, backstabs, poise breaks, and armor defenses, all that kind of stuff. You want to kind of meld it into one thing so that you're doing everything fluidly. And that is the key to having fun. It takes a while to get all those things down. So you learn one at a time, then you can incorporate a couple things together, then you can incorporate more things until before you know it, you can do everything and you're just experimenting with different types of shit. It's really fun. It's great. And that's what makes this game so good. The main problem with it is, like anything, after you play it for a long time, it gets boring. It gets stale, and you want new and different things. Okay? We've had the different versions of Dark Souls over the years. Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, some would even count Bloodborne in the mix. And they all did things a little bit differently. Okay? So it hasn't been the same game. You haven't been able to do the same things or have all of these things at your disposal in the way that you do in this game. And then we get to what I consider to be something that's just kind of ridiculous, is the amount of people hating on this remaster. For whatever reason, you don't like what it is. It's the only Souls game coming out for the next year that is going to have a player base actually playing the game online. Alright, that alone, worth $40 to me. I love Dark Souls. It's the only kind of games I want to play. And this one, whether you're brand new or you're a veteran, there's a lot to learn, a lot to improve on, and a lot of fun to be had. So be happy that you get to play it. Don't constantly badmouth it and pick every little thing that you don't like about it. It's dumb. It makes no sense. And honestly, the negativity just gets draining after a while, dude. Be happy that you have a Souls game to play for an entire year before the next project comes out. So these people complain that the game isn't adding cloth physics or omnidirectional rolling or this or that. And really, they should be thanking From Software for making this something that they released to us so everyone can play it. You understand? We would be sitting here for a year with no Souls game to play that's fresh and fun. And they made this for us to do. It costs $40. Yeah, it's a little steep. I wish it cost $20. But I graciously paid $40 for the chance to do a lot of stuff that was super fun again that I haven't done in a really long time, with a brand new player base that's super casualized by Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. That sounds like a lot of fun if you ask me. And the best part about this game was learning. So everybody that's about to play the same game that I fell in love with all those years ago, that I just could never get enough of back then, they get to experience the same thing again. They're not buying the game, you know, a couple years after it came out when basically nobody played it, or only the super good people that really enjoyed it were still playing. You know what I mean? They're getting the chance to play it with new people too. So that's going to be fun for a lot of people. And it's going to be a good experience for a lot of people. And it's going to make people appreciate the quality of life changes that they had in Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. A couple of them being, let's talk about a few. So Dark Souls 2 gave you the ability to respec your character. That's right. Dark Souls 1, you can't respec. You make a mistake on your build, permanent. Or, I mean, don't tell anybody I said this. Saves come. But if you don't do that, then yeah, there you go. Your build is fucked forever. It might be 1 point, it might be 10 points, but your build is forever going to be stupid. And leveling up resistance is a terrible thing to do, which a lot of people, the first time they play this game, they look at the resistance stat and they're like, yeah, that's the one. And they can never revert it, so the character is permanently fucked. Okay, other than respecking it, they also gave you the ability to jump with L3. Okay, and here's a little thing. I can't remember, I think maybe it was Inferno Plus or one of these dudes that are just bitching about how terrible this game is, how much of a waste of money it is. They said, you can't even change jump to L3. You can change jump to L3. I did it myself. Not only can you change jump to L3, but there's a huge amount of controller input options in this game that never existed in any other Dark Souls game, period. Not Bloodborne, not fucking Dark Souls 2. No other Dark Souls game has the amount of button input configurations that this game has. You know how people complain that L1 and L2 do the same thing? You can change L1 and L2 now, in fact. You could make them do different things. Now, that's not to say that it would necessarily be useful, but you can change the controls in this game, which I thought was a pretty fucking good addition, along with the ability to jump with L3. I could never really go back after Dark Souls 2 did that for me. Anyway, just some random ramblings from old Dark Souls guy. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for 600 subs, and I'll catch you next time, guys. Have a good one.